So now we are going to move still in Asia, but to China after Japan and Australia. Yanyan, are you here?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but I cannot see you.
Okay. Oh, I cannot turn on my video. It said that I'm not allowed.
You're
I'm
not allowed.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Can
So
we help her? Okay, I will introduce. Can you share your screen, maybe?
okay.
They are working on let you turning on your video. Okay, so when we are solving this technical issue, I would like to introduce Yanyan Chen. I first met Yanyan during the COVID-19, so I never met her in person, in reality. And she's in China. We are in Saudi Arabia, and we had meeting typically early afternoon. So for her, it was early evening, even sometime a bit late in the evening. And I remember this really impressive meeting when she was explaining us, teaching us what we were doing wrong in our research and explaining us how to do that carefully with a little kid on the back, playing trying to play quietly, not annoying his mother. And I was so impressed by how she was managing the situation. And I was so sad that due to the time shift, due to the COVID-19, due to all of that, she had to work in such a difficult environment. So I thought that she would be a great speaker for our event. And I'm really happy to see or to hear what she has to share with us. So thank you, Yanyan. When you're ready, you can start.
Yeah, thank you, Diana. It's my pleasure for the invitation. I'm so sorry I cannot with you from the beginning, and after my talk, I have to leave because I have a business trip to catch on. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can see it. Thanks.
Okay, so this talk is very simple. Because I don't have such experiences as maybe the other ones, but my work, my environment is very simple. So I just want to talk about what I know. It's from my experiences about the education and scientific research systems or environment in China. So my name is Yanyan Chen, and you can call me Yanyan. And so my current situation is like this. I live in Beijing, China. I have a 7-year-old son, and unfortunately, I cannot take care of my son by myself because of the work and also other things. In fact, I will talk about it later. My mom has to live with us to take care of my son since I was pregnant. And I think she has to live with me at least 2 years more. So, well, I'm now an associate researcher in the technical and institution of physics and chemistry in the Chinese Academy of Sciences. In fact, I've been there for 19 years since my graduate student stage. So I didn't travel a lot. I didn't have experiences in many places. There's only 3 cities I have been living in. And my research area is in thermoacoustics and free piston Stirling engines. So this is my family. So my mom and my dad. So my mom lives with us all the time, and my dad just occasionally come to see us. This kind of situation is very common in China, in fact. So I was born in 1982. That's that was the year the one-child policy was officially written in the Constitution. So, but I have a 3 years younger than me. My little brother is 3 years younger than me. So he is, in fact, how we call it, as illegal. So his born is illegal. So my dad has been punished. his salary is getting reduced, and my mom lost her job. But fortunately, we still have my dad still have a job to support all the family continuously. So my little brother and I, we have been educated well. So and this is also common in China, this kind of family. Well, I was born in the south of China. That's in Hunan province. It's I living in a national forest farm there. So I live a very happy childhood. But when we go to school, we have the pressure that is everybody tells you that education changes fate, because we are so common. My dad is just a worker, and my mom has no job, so we have to change our lives by education. So, and the college entrance examination is the most important in our life. Well, now we are discussing this kind of selection examinations every year when the students take these examinations, especially in July the 1st, around July the 1st. But there's no key to solve these problems, and because it had advantages, because it can ensure the equality and justice. We have so many people in China. That this is the only way to ensure this one. But the disadvantage is so obvious, and it brings me lots of problems. In fact, during my all the time when I grown up. For example, we are examination-oriented education, so the heavy burden of study always press the young people before they are 17 or 18. So you have when we can learn from the book. We are very good at learning knowledge from the book, but when after the examination we forget all about that. So you cannot find motivations from the knowledge, because you're just tired of it. So that's the main problem, especially for researchers, for the scientists in China who has grown up from the mainland, and also we are lack of self cognition, because you don't have the time to find yourself. You don't have the time to play. Well, in my college, my 3-year high school, from the very beginning when we enter the school, and the teacher would tell us, he said that we will take the examination to simulate the final one every month. And during all these 3 years, we take the examinations every month. So well, as a girl living in China, and when I was young, your parents and your teacher told you that you don't need to care about anything else, just study. So and in that kind of situation, you can accept it easily, because you don't know how to think. You don't know what I'm like, what I don't like. So just study there and just sit there. And in fact, you don't need to wondering or what to do. Just study and take the examinations. So that bring me a lot of problems when I grown up. Well, now also we contact with people so less, and we have so less activities in the social lives. So we are very late psychologically. We are the maturity for us is very late, I think, for me especially. So in high school and before, and also before that, study only. And by now, this competition is getting harsh and harsh, and it's more difficult now because education resources they are trained to be more focused in some area or some cities. So if you want to go to a good college, and then you have to study even much harder than I was before. So that's why all the society are thinking about that and want to make changes. But it's still very hard because you still have that entrance examination there. So after I went to the college in 1990, and I choose in fact, I didn't choose my my subject because I know nothing about it. So it's just because somebody just because of my my dad make all the decisions for me. It's not that he wants to make that, because I have no idea about everything. So I go to the School of Energy and Power Engineering, and I think that I can love everything if I just learn it by learning it. So so I studied nuclear science and technology, and for 4 years there. But well, you study too hard when you're young. Then when you go to the college, nobody tells you to do everything. Then we just become confused about life, and we just live idly. So in the college, you study because it's just mainly to cope with exams, and that's enough. And when it's time for the job hunting, and then just become anxious, because for the nuclear science, as a graduate student, they just need male for the boys to go to the nuclear power plants. That's a good choice for nuclear science and technology. And the other one is just go to the institution and use the software to calculate something and analyze something. And I feel like I don't like life like that. But what to do? Then I think I should stay in the university or in school. I don't want to go to the society because I don't know what to do. So I have no knowledge of the society, and even I have part-time jobs, but it's still not enough. So it's still unclear self-cognition at that time. So that's very pity. So my main motivation to continue learning is because I don't know what to do. So I don't know myself. So then I go to I go to take more exams, and then I had go to Beijing here, and I finished my graduate education and keep on 2 years postdoctor. In fact, and from now from then on, I stay in this institution for 19 years. So for my graduate education and PhD stage, there's only study and work, because there's no love affairs, because life is so simple. You just wake up and go to the lab and learn something and do some experiments, and then stay very late. And normally after 12 o'clock, you know, at night. And I had, at that period, I have a very bad habit to stay up late. The reason for that is that because at that time you have to do something, you have to solve something, but you don't know how to solve problems. You just want to learn everything. I want to solve this one, then I have to learn all the things. So one thing leads to another thing. So you learn a lot. Even after that, you forget why I try to learn this kind of things. What I'm supposed to do, what is my aim, and so many new things. So I have no time to wondering what I like, what I supposed to be. I just want to learn new things all the time. So all this, I spent in fact 7 years to just to learn things, and I'm not satisfied with myself. So I'm struggling with myself, and also because you have the pressure to publish paper, but for me, I cannot write anything I don't know deeply. So when the other people they publish paper, I just say I also need a paper, but I can't write it because it's still not the time. I haven't solved the problem. So under that pressure, you're just struggling with what I should do. But what I like to do is to find out what's the problem and to learn all the new skills or knowledge. So like that. But the problem there as a woman when I do this graduate education is that although my supervisor and all my colleagues around me, they won't say that you have to do, you're not suitable for experiments. You're not suitable for doing lots of things or like that. You just sit there and analyze the theoretical or numerical results. They won't say that, and they won't. In fact, they don't feel like that. But as I cannot find what I can do, so they will just by default and say, if you have no choice, then what about theoretical analysis and numerical analysis? Because you don't need to go to the lab and do heavy to carry on heavy things and all that kind of stuff. That just like female is more suitable for that. So but if you don't see the whole picture and then sit down there and say, I want to analyze this thing, you have no deep understanding of what are the key issues, especially for researchers that's much more contact with engineering. So you don't know what are the key issues in a practical system, but the advantages for me is that the theoretical analysis ability has been improved. So for me, but after that, what to do? What kind of job do I suit for? I have no idea, in fact. So I keep on doing research. It's just because I'm not. How to say that? It's the requisite or sorry, I cannot pronounce it correctly. So I just want to keep digging it because I have solved no real problems yet. So I have to keep digging. Just well, and there's another problem for the Chinese society as a scientific environment is that we have less daily academic exchanges, not like in the West. People can sit there and have a coffee and they talk a lot, and then you can learn from each other, and also you can spy by the others. We talk less. We communicate less. You just sit there and do your job. But now it's changing. But it's changing a lot by now. But at my graduate education time, it's really less. Although we have scheduled, chatting time with your supervisor, but it's not so deep. So it's not enough at that time. Well, after that, this by chance, I joined in joining another team, and they need me to do some analysis for heat transfer and fluid analysis. So I go to the lab and I can see all the whole picture there, and then I find, wow, so get in touch with engineering problems that can inspire me, and real problems, all the real problems in the engineering process should bring back all my motivations. When you're inspired, then you can find that all the relevant knowledge learning become much more efficient, not like before. I may read one paper one day, but in fact, I get nothing. But by that time, I want to solve some problems. I can read lots of materials one day and get a lot from it. So, and from that on, and the research work becomes much more clear. And until that time, I was 35. So, and I have been in the research area for 7 years. And I finally find that, oh, this is what I want. This is what I'm good at. So by now, I think it's really a pity because I wasted so much time. And because of that, by now I still need to making up for all my lost growth experiences. So I have to work more than 12 hours a day. And also it's not enough. Well, I like that. In fact, I like that. But and sometimes you have to, because you want to solve problems, and you still have to learn a lot, and also solving problems by learning. So unfortunately, I still can't live without my mom, as my son needs everyday life care, and I have to work over 12 hours a day. So this is my life by now. And the summer and a brief summary is that in China, women's family and social status is getting higher and higher, but especially in the family, it's women who make the decisions. So definitely. And situations like me, at least for my colleagues around me, I think it's 80% just like me. All these grown-up situations and the family situations, we are very alike. So and I think during the grown-up process, it's open your mind is the key. So so now I talk with my son even before he can talk. So whenever he's interested in anything, I will explain to him, and I will treat him not like a child. It's just like everybody else. It's like a grown up. Just because when I was a child, people talk to me so less sense, and I feel like a idiot all the time. And you're so afraid of talking to the elders. So I don't want that feelings when my son, this kind of feelings passing to my son. And also come back to the education, it's the examination-oriented education. It makes the young people in China grown up in an opposite way. As a child, they study so hard. In fact, as a child, that they need to play freely. But when they are grown up, they are confused, and they want to play. So that's the problem. That's the main problem, and it's really very bad. And also for China, we are growing so fast. So the rhythm is too fast. So especially for the people in every area. That there's this kind of cultural habits that people want to get instant benefits. They have no patience. They are anxious about everything. So and also the evaluation standards is too simple and single. So that's the problem. But fortunately, things are getting better. And so that's all. That's my very simple introduction about my life. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Yanyan.
Sorry for the poor English.
Can we see Yanyan now? Can you stop sharing your screen? Because I really people in the room could not see you, and I want people to really interact with you. Do we have any question? Yes, please.
Thank you so much for your genuine talk, Yanyan. I really admired your honesty and sharing all these feelings with us today and your journey overall. If you could envision an ideal situation in China for women scientists and researchers, how would you envision it? Would you still consider like how many hours a day or all these details are overall? Yeah.
Thank you.
Clear?
I don't know the average time of especially female scientists work, but for all the women around me, you have two choices. One choice is that you want to solve some problems, you want to do some project. Then normally 6 days in a week you have to work, and also more than 10 hours, that's the basic. So, but you have another choice, is that you don't want to do some, hard problem. Sorry, not you can make the decision not to work so hard, and it's also good. I know some brilliant scientists, although they're also female. They can live a happy life because they have been grown up much more, better than me. I have to make up the time I have lost when I was young. So that's why I worked so hard. Otherwise, I cannot solve problems.
I have a question. Yeah. So from your talk, what was really impressive is a kind of, maybe it's wrong, but the feeling of loneliness, a lack of mentoring, a lack of someone you could talk with. Did I understand correctly what you say? And do you know this situation is improving in China, or we still have this lack of a social relationship that is important for the growing of the mind and also the maturity of the student and the humans in general?
Yeah, it's still a very, I think it's not improved that much, and still a problem. And yeah, it's still a problem. But for me, it's not like it's not that loneliness. Yes, in fact, I feel lonely. But this is very strange that you don't feel that you are abandoned by people, because when we were young, people would tell you that it's all by yourself. It's all by yourself. It's all problems by yourself, so you have to solve it. So for me, it's not a problem, but I think not for everyone, sometimes people will have serious problems.
But it's interesting because from Japan, we have, if you want to go fast, you go alone. If you want to go far, you go together. And here we have another story in China where you have to solve the problem by yourself. So it's a completely different attitude depending on the country. So it's interesting to have this discussion and also this vision. Mm-hmm. Any short question, the last question for Yanyan? Okay, so yeah.
Hi, Yanyan, how are you? Honestly, it was a wonderful presentation. And I just want to thank you for your sincerity and, being really out there with what happened to you. It's a great emotional talk. So I wish you the best of luck, really. And I hope you achieve everything you want to. And don't forget to give your mum a ginormous big hug for helping you out there.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, she
And,
has sacrificed for me a lot.
So thank you very much. Thank you. And I hope to welcome you in person at KAUST one day if we can. And thanks again.